All right, let's jump right into a thought experiment. That is, well, it's both fascinating and completely terrifying. We're going to imagine one of the quickest, most catastrophic extinction events possible. What if every single insect on the planet just disappeared overnight? You know, an ecologist once said, if insects disappear, humans follow. And that really sets the stage, doesn't it? We're not just talking about losing a few annoying bugs here. This is about a fundamental threat to our own survival. So let's see just how that grim prediction plays out. Just try to picture it. 1 second. The world is filled with all those familiar sounds, the hums, the chirps, the buzzes, and then, poof, complete silence. And let me tell you, that's not a peaceful silence. No, that's the sound of a planet-wide system just breaking. All right, section 1, the morning a world went quiet. This is the sound of Earth shutting down. So let's imagine that first morning, right? You walk outside, and for a moment, it feels almost perfect. But that's the trick, isn't it? It's deceptively perfect. Think about what's missing. All those little things that bug us? Gone. No mosquitoes whining in your ear. No flies bumping against the window. But then you notice the other things. No bees on the flowers. No crickets chirping at night. No butterflies floating past. The air is just still. Way, way too still. And it's not just us who notice. You'd see birds looking around, confused, scanning an empty sky. Spiders would just be abandoning their webs, because what's the point? Frogs are calling out, but nothing's answering. The entire natural world gets it instantly. Something is deeply, fundamentally wrong, even before we humans have figured it out. Okay, section 2, pollination stops. This is where the invisible collapse begins. And bam, this is it. This is the first massive domino to fall. It happens instantly, and we can't even see it. The single most crucial job that insects do for us just stops. Cold. And the consequences? Oh, they pile up so fast. It's terrifying. On day 1, you wouldn't even know it's a problem, right? The trees are blooming, everything looks fine. But by the end of week 1, farmers, the people who grow our food, they're in a total panic. And by the end of the first month, the first wave of other extinctions is already kicking off. And look, this isn't some abstract science lecture. This is your grocery store right now. Your morning cup of coffee, your almonds, the apples and berries you had for breakfast, all of it. Every single one of those things now has a ticking clock on it. They're basically museum pieces from a world that doesn't exist anymore. So now we get to section 3, the food web unravels, where one extinction triggers another. This is how the whole thing spirals. See, insects aren't just pollinators. They are the foundation of everything. Think of it like a giant Jenga tower. They are the bottom blocks, and when you yank those out, the entire tower comes crashing down. The first thing we'd really notice, a bird apocalypse. I mean, it's that serious. For most bird species out there, insects are pretty much their entire diet, like 60 to 90% of it. So without them, we're talking a global, almost total collapse of bird populations. It would happen in weeks. The sky wouldn't just be quiet, it would be empty. And that devastation, it hits the night sky too. Bat colonies collapse. I mean, their main food source just vanished overnight. They eat thousands of insects every single night, and now there's nothing. They would starve almost instantly. And the unraveling just keeps going. On the ground, in the water, reptiles and amphibians start starving. Your lizards, frogs, salamanders, whole categories of animals that pretty much only eat insects, they're next. They just disappear. You might not even think about this, but the collapse even hits our rivers and streams. Freshwater ecosystems start to die. Why? Because tons of fish depend on eating insect larvae living in the water. That food source is gone now. So the life in our rivers just starts to die off. So okay, section 4, global agriculture crashes. Because humanity's food supply is now on a timer. The natural world is officially in a death spiral. But what does that mean for us, for the 8 billion people on this planet? Well, it means our entire way of feeding ourselves is about to completely crash and burn. I mean, look at this. How much do we really need them? A staggering 75%. 3/4 of all the crops we grow in the world rely on insect pollination. Think about that. We didn't just lose some bugs. We lost the actual engine that drives global agriculture. So what's left to eat? What do we lose versus what do we keep? Well, we lose most fruits, most vegetables, coffee, chocolate, nuts, even cotton for our clothes. What's left? Things like wheat, rice, and corn. Our diet basically becomes a bland, colorless rotation of grains, and our world becomes really beige and really, really expensive. And then comes the new threat. Here's a really brutal twist for you. All those animals that used to eat the insects we called pests, they're now starving. So in total desperation, things like rabbits, rodents, deer, they start invading our farms in huge numbers, eating the only crops we have left. The ecosystem is basically fighting back against us in the worst possible way. All right, moving to Section 5, Earth's Systems Fail. Subtitle, Beyond Food, the Planet Itself Breaks. And just when you think it absolutely can't get any worse, it does. See, we've only been talking about food, but insects do so many other hidden jobs that literally keep the planet's life support systems running. Let's talk about these hidden jobs. First, they're decomposers. They're the planet's cleanup crew, recycling nutrients from dead stuff back into the earth. Second, they're soil aerators. They're like tiny little plows, keeping the soil healthy. And third, they're seed movers, helping regenerate entire forests. They are literally the invisible workforce that makes the whole planet function. And without that workforce, well, the whole system just breaks down. Forests stop regenerating. Dead things, plants, animals, they just pile up. The soil's mineral cycle just stops. And as the plants die, oxygen production plummets, and carbon dioxide levels shoot up. The climate itself goes completely haywire. So here we are, Section 6, Humanity's Final Choice. How do we survive in a world we broke? After maybe just a single year, the Earth is unrecognizable. We are in pure survival mode, and humanity is basically left with two, well, they sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, two choices to avoid going extinct ourselves. Okay, so what are our options? On one hand, we have the artificial Earth. We build massive indoor farms, use robot pollinators, and rely on engineered crops. Basically, we hide from the world. On the other hand, the genetic reboot. We try to create synthetic insects from scratch, millions of species, and just hope we can rebuild what we lost. Both options are, well, they're staggering and frankly terrifying. But here's the thing, even if we pull it off, even if our tech allows some of us to survive, the Earth we evolved with is gone. That intricate, buzzing, beautiful web of life that we were a part of, it's gone. Forever. We wouldn't be living. We'd just be survivors, living inside a museum we built to remind us of what we lost. Which brings us right back to that first morning, that question, is the silence peaceful or is it the end? That strange, quiet world, it wasn't peaceful at all, was it? It was the sound of the end. It's a quiet, chilling reminder of the millions of tiny, unseen engines that keep our entire world running. And it really makes you wonder, what are we losing right now with every species that slips away?
If you enjoyed this journey, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel for more space adventures, and share this video if you liked it.